This is how we do it. This is how we do it indeed.
This is how we do it.
And you know this, man?
Hello, young earthlings of the internet. I'm Mr. Google, and I'm here to review the latest McG film, This Means War. This Means War stars Chris Pine, Tom Hardy, Reese Witherspoon, Angela Bassett, Till Schweiger, and Chelsea Handler. This Means War follows two best friends who happen to be CIA agents played by Chris Pine and Tom Hardy, who meet Reese Witherspoon separately, and they fall in love with her. But guess what? Reese Witherspoon wants to be a bitch and wants to date both of them at the same time like a whore! I think this is my Skyline review part 2. This Means War is the epitome of awful. It's only February, and I think this is going to be the worst film of the whole year. And I'm just going to go out on a limb here. Even by the end of the decade, this is 7 years from now, I think right at the end of the decade, when I make like my best and worst of the decade, this will be up there. This will be up there for the worst. Like with Bucky Larson and hell, even Skyline. Oh my shit! This was fucking awful! You know, this is not going to be that much like of an ordered review, so I'm just going to list the things I absolutely hate about it first. The action. McG directs this movie like a fucking child. The action in this movie is awful. Awful, awful, awful. It's incomprehensible. The editing for the action is absolutely incomprehensible. It's just so bad. It's like he's trying to be like an amateur Michael Bay. The characters in this movie are some of the most shallow characters I've seen in the history of movies, ever. History of movies, yeah. Chris Pine is a total asshole in this movie, and whenever the film tries to be sympathetic towards his character, it just doesn't work because he's just a total douchebag. And Tom Hardy's character, and I love Tom Hardy, man. As much as I love Tom Hardy, they wanted us to feel for his character because he has like a child and he has like an ex-wife to deal with, who's way hotter than Reese Witherspoon, alright? Way hotter. Kind of off the record, but I don't care. Yeah, the film tries to make us feel for Tom Hardy's character, but we can't because he's stooping to Chris Pine's level like he's a fucking child, and they're both freaking little kids. It's insane, and Reese Witherspoon's character is just a total whore, and she just doesn't think she's a whore, and she's going out with two guys at the same time. And Chelsea Handler, man. Chelsea Handler's like the worst thing ever to happen to this fucking planet. Alright, I absolutely despise Chelsea Handler. Oh my god, if there was a person that said, hey, I want you to murder one celebrity, who would you murder? Chelsea Handler. Alright, it's a little far. I don't like Chelsea Handler at all. I hate her. She's awful in this movie. I hope she dies. I hate her. The movie has tons of really unnecessary plot holes involving friggin' Hugo Stiglitz. Yes, this Hugo Stiglitz. When it comes to the humor of the film, I think it's so juvenile and just totally unfunny. Nutshots are so funny, right? So funny. And I think the whole CIA portion of the movie was really unrealistic in the fashion that Chris Pine and Tom Hardy hire these CIA co-workers of theirs to spy on each other, and they make the co-workers think that they're doing it because they want to like catch Till Schweiger's character, Hugo Stiglitz. How dumb are these frickin' CIA agents? I mean, are they that stupid? Do they actually think Reese Witherspoon has something to do with that little Till Schweiger character part of the story? Like, what the hell? And as much as I was looking forward to this portion of the film, Chris Pine and Tom Hardy had absolutely no bremistry. None whatsoever. And whenever they tried to have bremistry, especially near the end, it just felt totally forced and totally insincere. Like, I don't really care. Also, the ending of this film made me shit bricks, alright? The ending of this movie, this felt like a big fuck you to the audience. Because, you know, everything seems like it's all peachy and fine, and in the last scene it's like, oh, we're just gonna go that way, because we think we're so funny. No! Obviously, I'm gonna give this movie a 1 out of 10. I hated this freaking thing. I just want to leave you guys off with three important things. 1. If you call yourself a film fan and you like this movie in the slightest, and don't cop out and say, oh, it was just a fun time. No, if you like this movie in the tiniest little way, you're not a film fan. Alright? And I don't respect you as a person. I want nothing to do with you, to be quite honest. 2, if you find Chelsea Handler funny in the slightest, if you find her funny in this movie, or in general, you don't know what good comedy is. And number 3, if you think Reese Witherspoon is hotter than Tom Hardy's ex in this movie, then you deserve to ride the short bus to school. I'm Mr. Google. Don't forget the ski cap. Subscribe. Yeah, and I'm out.